All right, and welcome back into the program, everybody. Good to have you with us in the spot where we always keep you the best informed audience in all of radio. There is a growing controversy out there as we move closer and closer to the election in November, and it is about absentee ballots and the applications for those that have been sent out to Michigan voters everywhere. And the object is, we're told, to get as much participation in the election as we can, but others are saying, wait a minute, there's a chance for fraud here. And then on the reverse side again, the claims of fraud are overrated. They're not true. We shouldn't be worried about it. It's no big deal. But then we're hearing about ballots that are being received by sheriffs for dead people. People who have been dead for 20 years are being mailed absentee ballot applications. And so that's raised the issue even further. Ruth Johnson has stayed on top of this even since her days as our Secretary of State. She's a state senator from Michigan's 14th District, and she's on the other end of our line. Senator Johnson, good morning. Nice to have you back with us.
Good. How are you doing, Frank?
Good. Nice to hear your voice again. Thank you for being with us. So now we're hearing about all of these warnings that had come before. They seem to be coming to fruition now, and we're hearing about absentee ballot applications being mailed to people who have been dead for decades. This is the kind of stuff that was being warned about, wasn't it?
I think it was. I mean, we know that there's absentee ballot requests being mailed by the Secretary of State, and generally, for the history of Michigan, the local clerks send those. So the state's taken over, and they have gone to many people. We had reports of people that have moved 10, 20, 30 years ago. They're dead. We've had 2 non-citizens and 1 16-year-old. So I posted, if you've got something like that, please send it to my email address so we can take a look at it. I chair elections, and I want to know what's going on because I'm very concerned. We've had numerous cases of election fraud in Michigan, and I did prosecute them when I was Secretary of State. And fraud's not widespread because we do have laws, rules, and procedures in place to protect people and to protect the system. So if we should do away with the integrity measures as saying we should take safety features off airplanes because many of them don't crash. We do have problems. We do have protections in place, and they're being worked around right now.
Are you convinced, though, that we do have the laws in place to prevent this sort of thing if the rules are followed, or is there follow-up to come from the legislature on this?
Everything we do is like suspenders and a belt. It's not one thing takes care of it. And there's very little right now to be able to ascertain whether that signature on that ballot is that person's signature. If they've been dead for years or gone for years, and some of these clerks are getting tens of thousands of ballots, and they don't have specialists to check those signatures. So really, it's illegal for election officials to send out absentee ballot applications unsolicited. There's 2 court cases, and the Secretary of State's own current election manual says clerks may not mail absentee voter applications without having received a verbal or written request, and you can also go online to do that. So it's easy to get. Michigan was named #1 in the country for getting people registered to vote when I was Secretary of State. The staff did a fabulous job. Our local clerks have been named some of the best in the nation, and now what we have basically is a takeover by the state and sending out absentee ballot requests to people that are moved, dead, non-citizens, and we have 1 underage so far, 16-year-old.
Wow, that's some amazing stuff, and that's just what we know about, right? I mean, there's a chance there's a whole lot more below the surface that we would not have any chance to hear anything about, correct?
Well, there's no doubt about it because we don't even communicate with 40% of the state. So if somebody's moved and they're voting in, say, California, they're also registered here, and there's no way to know that they could vote here, too. And I talked to the postmaster yesterday, and they will deliver no matter what. This is not to clean the file. That's what I've been told. That's just not accurate because there's no return to service requested. Plus, the postal people don't know who lives there at that house. There's a lot of turnover, especially in apartments and even houses. So they said they deliver no matter what. And there's nothing on there to return it. So this isn't to cleanse anything. This is just a really bad plan that opens our system up to lack of integrity.
Do you think that's intentional?
Well, I know the Secretary of State spent $5 million of taxpayers' money on this when it could have been used in a much better way. The local clerks were already taking care of this, and last year anyone could do a mail-in ballot through Proposal 3. So I just don't know the reason. It just causes a lot of confusion. A lot of people are angry. It is not to cleanse the file, and we should never be sending absentee ballot requests. It's against the law.
And Senator Ruth Johnson, the other thing that strikes me about this is what you just mentioned. It is against the law, and whose job is it, according to state law, to make these ballots available? Is it the local clerks who we've always been told are in real charge of the election, or is it Lansing? I mean, that's the issue here, isn't it?
It's absolutely not Lansing. We only have 34 staff in Lansing. We have a decentralized system with 1,603 clerks. They are the ones that have been doing it. They know their areas. They know who to send the absentee ballot request to. They call them, they mail, they go online, and it works very well.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that we don't have this widespread ballot manipulation that some are starting to worry about. Senator Johnson, thanks for coming on the show with us. Always appreciate it. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Take care. That's Senator Ruth Johnson, the former Secretary of State. Michigan's 14th District is what she represents, and all of us here in the state of Michigan. I like that suspenders and belts reference earlier, too. That was funny.